Today we will be talking about Deliverable 2-2. This project was made by Cadet Natter, Cadet Saum, and Cadet Langdon. This is very similar to Deliverable 2-1, but we took the filtering tool and greatly enhanced it. Some additions are the pivot table and charts that display many different statistics according to what we wanted them defined. The pivot tables and graphs give the user all the information they could want just by a click of a button. For example, the user would start on the left-hand side of the dashboard and sort by either country, COCOM, or latitude and longitude. Once this has been completed, they can select their country of their choice or combatant command region. The latitude and longitude would be based off the country to see the distances surrounding their area. This is a great tool to analyze terrorist activity and can be filtered down to the day of the year of the most recent terrorist attack. As the user clicks on the filter button, many charts and graphs will appear with various statistics. The different titles of the chart and graphs include attack type, target by type, fatalities and casualties by type, number of attacks, weapon by type, and number of fatalities. This is a simple way for the user to find and obtain a lot of data quickly and in an organized manner.
So that was a brief review on how our tool works. Just to go and run through it again and show another example, we'll go all the way up and go to Afghanistan for terror attacks, filter it. It takes a second because it's a large document, there's a lot of data involved. So you can see all of our tables change, and just because all of these change, we look at them and you see all the different types of data and material that goes into each. So for all of those graphs to pop up, we need to use the VBA code. So our VBA code goes as follows. So we start with defining everything, and then we go to where we want our table to go, where our data is coming from, and where the pivot table is going. Next, we scroll down. We go right here, and after each time we refresh, we need to delete the old graph. So this function right here deletes the old graph after we refresh because we don't need it anymore, and it would just cause a bunch of graphs and tables to stack on top of each other. So here is how we actually insert the graph into our dashboard. So our rows for our graph right here are attack type 1 brought to you from the my data, and then the values are event ID. Normally it would be the sum of the event ID, but we want count, so we change it to XL count. You could have XL count, XL average, and so on. Next, you go down and say what kind of graph you want. Here we want a pie chart or pie graph, and this pie graph you could put XL line or XL bar, and that decides which one you would want. Next is the range where the pivot table goes in your pivot worksheet, and the worksheet tab. Then you go to dashboard and select where you want everything else to go. Right here, this goes on your dashboard in a certain area. Most of these functions are directly the same, just with different sheets and different functions, using pies and using lines.
The overall approach to our design of our dashboard was make it as easy as possible for the user to go in and select their country or combatant command and just run a filter to have all the statistics come up around them. Some of our strengths to this deliverable was how we were able to quickly get all our data on the front page just by hitting a simple filter button, and how everything is pretty organized. I would say some weaknesses we have would be with our codes of just pulling out the titles for our charts and our graphs, and kind of the organization of our dashboard, as it seems kind of busy. We didn't run into a lot of errors with our VBA code, but we had some encounters. But overall, we did a good job of correcting them and just making do with what we had. We had some limitations, as I said, with the titles of our graphs.